Hello everyone, and welcome to Mixed Media Monday. Today we've got a project that's going to be using a few pieces of stuff that you can barely see, and hopefully I don't lose that. And some of the stuff I've sort of prepared a little bit. This piece of cardboard I already had painted white, but I went around the edge with the color I have here. I went ahead and I have my numbers and words and that sort of thing already printed, but I just went ahead and clipped the edges and plunged them in some coffee and put a little ink around the edges. And it all started because of this. Now this is a jeweled dragonfly that came from the DIY jewelry department out of Hobby Lobby. It was on clearance, and so I got it. I've had it probably close to a couple of years, and I've always wanted to put it in a project, and so I was in there to get me some paint a few days ago, and I saw this paint, and I thought that looks really close to those dragonfly wings, and it's sea glass. So this is the color of paint we're going to be using, and I have just a little dot that I've already, you can see where I've been doing stuff here. I got a little dot that I can use here, and I need to get my paintbrush out of the water. So I have a few pieces to assemble. If you do, ultimately I guess I could tell you what this is going to be. What I'm creating here is something that I can glue down to a cover. This is the back of a box, diaper box or something, I don't even know. Anyway, I want to create something that I can glue onto the cover to make the cover for a journal. That's the plan with this. So, and then I've got a little stamp thing here that I'll be cutting up and doing something with that's kind of color coordinated. I'm not sure which one I'll use, or I may use both of them. And then I got a few other things over here. So the very first thing I'm going to do is reach around to the side where you can't really see, and I'm going to get me a little paintbrush, and I've got this jar of mixed medium. You've seen me use it a time or two. I'm going to set it over here out of the way. Now I like the wings and I like the jewels, they're okay, but I don't like the shininess. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this matte medium just to turn this shininess into a matte, and I'm just going to brush a tiny amount on just on the top of the wings. I'm going to start with the wings anyway, but it's not so much the wings, it's mainly these little shiny jewels, but I just want them to be not quite as shiny as they are. So I'm just going to brush that on there, and that'll just take down that shininess and that reflection just a little bit. So I'm just going to make sure I don't have anything on the edges where it don't need to be, or any of the little holes. Now, I didn't do it a lot, and I might actually end up putting another coat down through here, but it did knock it back quite a bit. So I'm going to set this aside to dry while I put the lid back on this for now. And we'll go on to the next step, which is I want to paint one side of this piece of cardboard. And I'm going to move some of this out of my way because I don't want to get paint on it. So I'm going to just put it a little, and I don't want it like solid. I just want a little bit of a grunge, I guess I could say. Just a little bit. I still want to see some of the cardboard through it. And I'm just going to I mainly want to cover this side, but I'm going to paint, I think, until I use this paint up, because there's no point in it sitting here just drying. This was the first squirt out of it, and it came out faster than I thought it might. So I am going to come around these edges just a little bit, like this, and I will go ahead and do the whole, like right on the very edge. I'll do all of that, or at least I will attempt to. Yeah, there we go. My the edges of the paint, I've had it out for about 10 minutes, and it's getting a little bit dryish around the edges. Okay, now let me do this little top edge here. Okay, I'm going to call that done, and this will be dry within minutes, really. So I've got a piece of just, this is like plain burlap, and I think I'm going to use my fabric glue and just run a bead right down the edge like that, and across like that, and that. Maybe put it a little bit in the middle, and I believe that will be enough to hold it. And I do want this almost at the edge and almost at the bottom. In fact, I want it more at the bottom than I do the top. So, okay. Now, the one thing I did not get me was a cloth to rub my hands off. But I have a few pieces of paper towel here, so we'll use that. Okay, now, the next thing I want to put down is this little piece of netting, and I know I'm almost thinking I probably ought to like fold it up or something, otherwise it's not really going to be seen, so I think I'll put this down next, and I'll put that on. So, for this one, I think I might put the glue down right on the top of this. put that like that. Okay. Put just a, well, I guess we'll go right that way. Yeah, that'll work. I will put just a dot inside there, just enough to hold it there. Okay. Now, I think yeah, I think I'm going to do something along this line. So I'm going to do it this way. I'm just putting a little fabric glue, if I can talk, on the bottom of this. Move that up there. On the bottom of this little piece, I'm going to give this kind of maybe an odd fold. It's just a rectangle that's about roughly a 6x4, but it's really hard to tell what it is because you can barely see it, or at least I can barely see it. Okay. Now, so that it don't run away from me, I'm just going to put these two little clips right here for a minute, because I want to do one more thing before I put that down, or actually maybe a couple of things. I've got these little brads over here, and I want to put a brad in there, and I could probably use that actually. I'm going to eyeball this and put that. Actually, let's use this because this is what's going to be on it, so I just want to make sure that I don't put them in the way of my dragonfly here. So I'm going to put one here, and one there. That looks pretty even, huh? That's pretty dry. I don't think I will put another layer on it. That's dried pretty matte. So I'm going to use these very sharp tweezery things just to poke me a little hole. Or at least that's the plan. This might not. I don't want to bend my... there we go. And then this way. That might be a little bit too big of a hole, but I believe it'll be alright. And then just going to put that under there. This is just for decoration. It's not meant to do anything. Unless, of course, something happens to change my mind. Okay. Alright, now for this one, I am not going to do that. I want to put... Now let's see if what I want to do and what needs to be done is going to be the same thing. I think I might be better off to take that off. Take that little loop off. Yep. Okay. Let me get my little tool to take this off. I'll be right back. Because I don't want to glue this down. I want it to hang. But I want it to not, I want it to look right. So I'm going to use my little twisty turny thing. I have no idea what its proper name is, but it's something I picked up in an antique store not a bunch of years ago, maybe 6-ish, 7-ish years ago. Pencil. Now, well, I did get them a little off, but I kind of think that right there is the middle. Just turn it this way. Looks like the middle to me. Okay. Now, it might be that when I go to put this down, I actually put the pen through both layers. Not sure about that yet, so I'm gonna wait. Because I kind of think that might be what I need to do, is put this I'm gonna glue down, but yeah, I think I'm going to put that through both layers. So let me just go ahead and do that. And that gives me my hole. Okay. Now, let me use this glue. Just a little bit. I'll go over that. And I'll take these off and hope that they don't come off take the net off as it comes. Let's put just a little through here. Okay. And line up that hole. Okay. The back can't come off of it. Okay. That looks alright. Okay. We'll let that sit a minute while I go on to the next little part. And on this, well, I'll just go ahead and use this glue because it is going to go down on fabric. So, hopefully it will stick. Yeah. Back when I was in school and high school and maybe even grade school, our art teacher, when I was in grade school, it's a different school, but I ended up going to the high school where she taught. When I was in grade school, her name was Miss Tilson. But when I got to high school, she had gotten married, and her name was Mrs. Crisp. But we did things like this quite a bit. And then I was also a teacher's aide for her for 2 years, maybe 3 years, but I know 2 years in high school, for the kindergarten through 5th or 6th grade maybe. And so I got to do all kinds of artwork in school. I think I want to do this stamp. Actually, I need to cut it with these little scissors. Yep, much better. Sort of makes it look a little more stampish. Sort of, kind of. And a little ink. Well, that is a little dark, but it'll be alright. Okay, and this I can do right here, I think. With this glue, it'll be fine. So yeah, I'm still learning about mixed media, for sure. Put that like that. I need to put this little hickey in here before I forget it. Could put that. I might actually lift that up this way and will it help I put the lid on the right side? My goodness. Okay, we're going to do that. This is just cheesecloth that I first layered down in some water with just a little paint mixed with it, and got it kind of got it really saturated, and then I dried it out, or at least got the excess water out of it, and then I very lightly with the paintbrush just painted over it with the paint right straight out of the bottle. In fact, that's what that little dollop was that I used out of a few minutes ago. So now, if I can get it to turn loose of my fingers, then it'll be a lot better off. Okay, I'm going to let this dry for a few minutes and then I'll be back with the next step. Okay, it's dried for a few minutes, so hopefully long enough to be dry enough for me to work with without pulling it off the base. So I guess I need to use I really need to use the fabric glue, I suppose. So played around with it though just a little bit, and I think I want this word treasure. This little netting that hopefully you can see is 4 layers, and so I'm going to pull up 2 of them, and this glue will seep right through. So I'm going to put that there, and then just press that in place. I've got just a little bit seeping out. And then, no, that's not where I want that. I put it in the wrong place. That's okay, we can fix it. It still needs the fabric glue. I want this down here. That's where I want that. Right there. Okay. Now, let's do this again. I still want it in the same place, I just put the wrong one there. Okay. Now, let's try that part again. There we go. Got a little extra glue. Let me just see if I can, oops, mop it up just a little bit. Alright, so that's that. And then I found this little safety pin. I think it came with some extra buttons on a little button thing, and I'm gonna pin that right there. You probably can't see, but that, okay, I didn't do it enough. Let's pull it back out and go in there just a little bit. Okay. Well, finally. But I want it turned over that way. Well, no, I guess that way. It's going to go that way whether I want it to or not. Okay. I'm not sure how I like that, but we'll leave it for now. Now, the next thing is to put this bulb pin through here and then push it back through, so hopefully it will hang. If it doesn't hang, well, it does hang, but not the way I want it to. I might end up gluing it down after all. I was thinking, though, that if I put this through there just the right way, aha, there we go. That's what I wanted, just like that. And that way it's movable, and for some reason I wanted it movable. I don't know how practical that is, but this is not completely dry, so I'm going to wait till this is completely dry before I put that pin in there. But this is where it will go, except I do want it that way, when it's done. So right now I'm just going to leave it there. But basically that's the project done. So let me move some of this out of the way. And except for the pin that's not pinned in yet, this is our little project, our little mixed media. So thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon.